Welcome to the Sixcast, a podcast where we discuss real-world strategies, tips, and stories that provide helpful insights for your digital transformation experience.
Welcome back to another episode of Sixcast. Today we'll be talking to Waruna. This is part 2, where he's talking about setting his career path, how he defined his goal and his mission, how he viewed his vision for the company, and how it transpired into Six Senses. You were raised in an environment where you didn't have a lot of technology, but ironically, your friends started to really love technology, and you also started to develop like a real fondness and curiosity along the way. And by high school,
curiosity, so much of curiosity. Three things actually. You raised a very good point there. It is about curiosity, that thirst for something, for creativity and innovation. Through technology. The city that I was in, it was, as I mentioned, it was not quite developed, but it was a very high level of literacy, at the same time exposure. The people and the parents had, the children and the parents had, and they were thriving for example, in 1992, 1993, we were talking about building an Airwolf, for example. Have you heard of Airwolf? Airwolf, it's Airwolf. Yeah, it's a show, right? We were studying and trying to gain that information or knowledge to build an airplane, a helicopter, a fighter helicopter, right? And another time, Jurassic Park came. Everyone was like, so everyone was like, it was in our blood. There was one of my friends, Danushka. He watched it for 14 times. Our group of friends, we were always about exploration, about technology, about motor mechanics, about physics, about NASA, galaxy, planetary system, and going into the galaxy, talking about the space stations and rocket ships. It was always all about that. I couldn't believe when I'm really talking to you about it. It was very, it was so much of an innovation, very, very future forward or futuristic culture that we had. And when we had Pentium 1, Pentium 2 computers from 1995, 96, I started becoming very interested and explorative about Corel Draw and 3D Max, Maya, things like that. Lotus, I don't even remember what they are anymore. And I didn't have it until about 2000. And I had to keep selling the computer because every time I get a computer, it's very expensive. Now I had to pay an installment, which is about a decent amount of money. Now you sell it again. It was a challenge. It was always a challenge without a computer. But I was like, I was always not the first to get the phone, not the first to go out of the country. I was not the first to play bowling. I was not the first to play snooker. I was not the first. I was always the second or the third, and maybe the last, because I take about first few initial, like maybe about 30% of a decent amount of time, a few months or a couple of years for me to sit back and watch and learn. And that's my strategy. That was so I had this, my friends told me, hey, they had built an Airwolf, a fighter helicopter, and they had hidden by the head office of a major bank in Colombo, near a bush. I really believe that story because they sounded so smart and they sounded really capable of doing that. I thought they really had a helicopter. That was not when I was 12. And then I really realized, no, are you really saying it? And, okay. And once we wanted to create a planetarium, which didn't fly, We wanted to build a Jurassic Park, and one of my friends actually did. For a beautiful sculpture of a dinosaur. So it was very. We had that culture. We had that exposure from the school, from the network of our friends. And that actually had really played in where we are, and that's where I was becoming very interested in technology. And while I didn't have a computer, I started learning things my own. To date, I don't have a single paper qualification in computing or software development or anything like that. Computer is now. I still refer to computer as a subject, not a tool. It's a tool now, right? It is. I still refer to computer as a subject because I never had that education. So when I came to Canada, I was into market research. I was very much about marketing. So my key 3 areas were management. And then I went into market research in Colombo. And one of the research projects that I had done for MTV Channels Private Limited, at that time it was probably the biggest electronic media company. Major one, very impactful. And I did a market research project, and it was highly sought, I got a lot of accolades from the chairman himself. They still today they talk about it. Something I'm very proud of. I'm still proud of that. It was an amazing work based on data, based on research. I came up with some recommendations, a brand strategy study, and one of my friends, one of the top senior executives said, told me recently about, I don't think even today someone would be able to do what you had done 12 years ago. So something I was very proud of. I'm a very market data, customer behavior based marketer. So I had that craving for marketing, management. I didn't get an opportunity for management. I instead got marketing. So 3 areas, right? Management. So I'm doing marketing now based on market research. And then I came to Toronto. I joined a company, start calling for market research, and then I became a supervisor. After that, I got this job at Marchand's as a web administrator when I was 27, I think it was. 28. And he gave me an opportunity. Daryl gave me an opportunity to run a website. E-commerce website, and I'm still thankful. I had a computer. I couldn't believe that I had a desk, a phone, and a computer. And within a month, I got a raise. Within a month, I got two monitors. I was except for the CEO, I was the only one who had a second monitor. So it was like, wow, how do you get a second monitor? Like, you just came in, right? And you talk like a different person. You don't talk like a Canadian, but you still got this. I was like, yeah, I got it. I think it was a passion.
Provided a family environment for you?
It was a very family. It was very explorative opportunity for innovation, exploration, independent work.
I feel like he understood like maybe the fact of that you were away from your native country, and he provided like a familial environment.
Maybe, but they're generally like that. They create that very healthy, respectful environment for people to work there. And I invested a lot of my time, invested a huge part of my career to build that company. Help build my part of the department, and give certain strategies as well, obviously, to build that company as thank you, right? The pay was not super great because it was a small to medium-sized company, more of a medium-sized company. It was not great, but it was okay. I was established. And then I was working from Sri Lanka. All good. Life is good, right? What more do you want? Now I came to a point where now I had my marketing. Now I know technology. How do I get into my management capacity? Do I want to pursue a career at a bank or somewhere, or in this company, I became a manager. But it was not enough. It was not enough. I wanted to be in control, in charge, and I wanted to apply. I know management is not easy. It's difficult. It's probably the most difficult profession. Leadership, right? And then I.
Well, it's difficult because you need to manage people's interests and their. It's almost like a form of childcare in some ways.
Yes.
Like
yeah. So leadership is about leading people, interest, behaviors, market changes, target market, financials,
absolutely,
PR, processes,
well-being.
Given, right? And operations, delivery, shipping,
absolutely,
like facility, everything. That's leadership, right? You need leadership to manage all of that. So the people, so it was, how do I get it? I was like, now I felt the void, which is I had my undergrad education. I wanted to do my MBA. I couldn't do that. And it was like, I spoke to a friend of mine at my Rotary Club, where I was a director of professional development at Rotary Club of Toronto. She said, I'm doing my MBA. How did you do your MBA? She said, I'm doing part-time while I'm working. Oh, really? Okay. What do you do? I'm a manager at Scotiabank. Where do you do your MBA? At Schulich. Schulich. Which Schulich? Where is it? York University. And then I remembered when I came to the country, Schulich was like, I kind of heard about it. I didn't really had time to think about it anymore after that, until her name was Elizabeth. She told me, I'm doing my MBA at Schulich. And that day I set my mind on going to Schulich. That was in 2012, maybe 11, that I heard that. I couldn't get in there until 16. Yeah, I was putting it off. I was like, no, I don't want to spend $75,000. At the time, it was 75.
Were you still working at Marchand's?
I was at the time I was working at Marchand's, and $75,000 was a big number. And we had our first child. I had to do my GMAT stuff. After a long time, you are going back into studies. You can't you can pass it easily.
Get rusty.
You get rusty, and my
you're tired
crying,
because
you're tired. Yeah, it was not a good situation. Good, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And I had to do it 3 times. I got I got in. I was not selected until the last moment. Like, it was like December 23rd. I got a call from probably one of the happiest calls. Hey, Waruna, I'd like to give you an offer to join Schulich. I was like, wow, sure, I'll do it whatever I can, right? And hey, there's a caveat. You had to pay $7,000 just to accept as an acceptance of information. And now, while you look for $7,000, I think I had some money, and probably I asked my wife as well, paid that off. Now, the next hurdle, you have to pay the tuition fee, which is about $20,000, right? Where do you find that money? So it was, wow. And it was the next challenge. And I spoke to one of my friends, more of a mentor, actually. When I was doing my GMAT, I had almost given up. I said, I can't do this. I'm just so bored and exhausted. As my friend is a mentor of mine, as a senior executive at a major hotel in Toronto. He said, I asked him, can I maybe go to Ryerson? No disrespect, but Ryerson or someone else, maybe an online degree, MBA. He said, if I see 2 resumes, one with Ryerson, one from Schulich, I wouldn't think twice. I would go to Schulich. I was like,
They're the top business school. It's a top business school
in Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah. I said, okay, sure. So I did it. And now the first course was leadership.
Yeah.
Skills for leadership. I was like, do I have to go to a business school and pay $100 an hour? That's what it comes down to. It could be more now.
Right.
To learn and at $100 into 23 hours, I think.
Do you think about that now? Do you
Actually 35 hours, $3,500 or more
Yeah.
to learn about skills for leadership.
Well, you can
right?
you can either do it. You can go in your
No,
eyes.
you can. That is a must.
Yeah, you can either, no, I meant you can either start a business and just learn your way through it and not have the education,
Yeah.
or you can do the other route where you actually get more of a, like you have a footing, it's like a cushion before you launch, and then you realize that you created some sort of like understanding and a background before you, so you have less hurdles, less obstacles in the beginning.
Right. And
but both
at
ways
that
are
time,
right. Both ways are right. It's just do you want to do it with less hardship? Less hardship is probably having the preparation, which is education. That's if you have the investment. If you don't have the investment, then go the other way and just do the business, and then you'll have to learn as you go. Yeah.
So I was like, why do I have to go to a school to learn about skills for leadership? But that was by far one of the best ever courses Shulik has done.
Right.
It changed my entire perspective about my future, about leadership, about everything, about career. And at the end of the course, I asked the prof, there was a round table. What do you want to do in your life and career-wise? I asked the question, prof. He's a top economist in Toronto. As a question, I have prof. I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I've been hesitating, right? I've been hesitating, and I was like, oh, the prof said, listening?
I'm listening. I'm thinking about Shulik while you're talking.
And he said, oh, if you're hesitating, maybe entrepreneurship is not for you. I was very upset. I was very angry at him. It was like so negative. And by that time, I had set my mind. I'm going to do my MBA as opposed to doing my doing a business, right? Yeah. Towards the end of the first term, my brother was reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I have a lot of friends. I'm graduating. I had a lot of friends graduating as well, doing a degree in management information systems. Do you have a job? Are there any projects that you can bring over to the country, and we can put together a team?" I was like, I was not up for that at the time. I was like, no, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. Like, but he's the one who actually drove me to be an entrepreneur. And you know, that was that's where the flower of the Six Senses started blooming, pretty much coming out of the water.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Sixcast. We'd love to connect with you, so feel free to comment or reshare. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Six Senses. Bye for now.